All right, we're going to talk about the global shortages, or not global, sorry, nationwide cell outages. AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile hit by massive nationwide cell outages.
News right at the top, and a lot of Americans are feeling it right now. If you've had some trouble using your cell phone this morning, it's not just you. You're not alone.
Yeah, major carriers have been experiencing widespread outages all across the country, though AT&T is the most affected overnight. Users are on social media, and they're saying their cell service was down. They were unable to make or receive calls. Many are saying, though, texts appear to be working just fine. We're going to try to sort all this out with NBC's Brian Chung. Hey, Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Some pretty alarming issues here nationwide when it comes to the cell phone outages. So it's happening at three major carriers. It's happening at Verizon, AT&T, and also T-Mobile. AT&T appears to be the most affected with about 30,000 outages. It went down and then spiked back up alarmingly. We've also seen issues around 1,000 in number at Verizon and T-Mobile. And what seems like a good sign, AT&T outages, they did dip. But again, we're going to see whether or not after they've spiked again, can they really resolve those issues? Now, some of the most affected areas so far, they include San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, Atlanta. So it's happening in many pockets across the country. And there have been alarming reports from the San Francisco Fire Department that they can't get 911 calls. So this is really impacting some emergency services. We don't know what the reason is for the outage. The San Francisco Fire Department is saying in some cases you should try to use a landline, and we've reached out to all of the companies for comment. We have not heard back since.
I mean, what's interesting is that it's more than one carrier. So, I mean, there's a range of possibilities, I suppose, and we just don't know yet what happened here.
Right. Like, is it something that could be hacking related? Is it something that could be weather related, satellite related? We don't know at the moment. We're trying to get more information, but we have not heard back yet.
But it's affecting big cities right now. That's where you're getting the most reports from.
Yeah,
major
and
cities.
Even anecdotally, I mean, even this morning we've heard of some of our own colleagues having issues reaching some of us by cell phone. But again, this is happening. It's still happening. We're trying to see how.
Interesting also that it's nationwide. There's not one region affected. Right. Yeah.
And nothing from the carriers. You said they haven't made any comment as to what's going on.
They have not, no. But again, we've been hearing of issues in South Carolina, in New York City as well. So again, it seemed like AT&T was able to make the number go down, but then it spiked back up again. So again, it's just, we're not out of the woods yet.
All right, stay on it, Brian.
Why immediately hacking? I mean, it makes sense. I don't think it's like, I don't think it's shocking. It's solar flares. It's definitely a possibility.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
The new fallout.
New guy plugged the wrong cable. I mean, it happened across the board. Should have upgraded the infrastructure instead of pocketed the tax incentives. So I'll keep it a $1.50. There are certainly issues in the way that the ISPs and major phone providers operate. Obviously, something I talk about quite frequently. However, having said that, I think maybe in this circumstance, it could be something that you, it could technically be something that you can't really deal with. Like, it could be an external factor. 3 networks going down at the same time seems pretty solid, pretty big. Especially because, like, they share towers. I mean, sure. But I feel like if it was a solar flare, quote unquote, then it would impact everything and not just 3 major carriers, I assume. No? It was the Houthis? No, it wasn't the fucking Houthis, dog. No. If they did that, it would be it would be major shortages globally if they cut the fucking cables in the bottom of the ocean, which they said they would never do. So they said that they were not going to do that anyway. It would impact everything. I don't know enough about it. So there's nothing I can say on this matter beyond the fact that it happened. and it made me, well, I was oblivious to it anyway because I was sleeping while it happened, so I didn't even see it. However, we are so fucking cooked. Our over reliance on great coverage. I mean, yeah, not everything I'm talking about is going to be 100%. Like, what do you want me to do? Lie to you like they're doing? Mainstream media doesn't know about anything when they're covering issues. Their producers just hand them talking points. The fuck do you mean? What do you want me to do? Lie to you in the same way that they do in order to like reaffirm my authority? No, I'm a fucking dude. I'm a dumbass. I tell you all the goddamn time. If it's something that I do know, I will tell you. They're talking heads. You want me to, if I'm going to speculate on it, I'm going to have to tell you that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about before that speculation, if it's something that I'm not making an educated guess on. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is this. My takeaway from it is that although I did not experience this personally because I was sleeping while it was happening, I will say that our over-reliance on tech and our susceptibility to cyber attacks makes any kind of cyber warfare a genuinely dangerous prospect. So the greatest way to avoid such issues would probably be to ensure that there is peace, I think, with countries that have cyber warfare capabilities. So I don't know what else to say other than that, or just beef up our cybersecurity, I guess. Even though I feel like it's no matter what happens, because humans are operating it, there's always going to be points of weakness, points of entry. Work for Karen allegedly from peers, an update from a vendor, Cisco to back-end equipment. Yeah. However, yeah. We're talking about cyber warfare, but it could be something as simple as what that other chatter just mentioned. It could be something as simple as like one aspect, considering that it is all a lot of these companies operate off of the same infrastructure, and also a lot of the other providers in between, like the mediators on the back end, are basically oligopolies or monopolies. One company tweaking something along the line could literally fucking destroy an entire section and take out not just one but multiple providers at the same time. So that is also likely. So I don't know. Last giant outage we had like this IPv4 bug in Cisco gear, which is half of the internet. Yeah, did a solar flare cause the AT&T outage? Here's what we know. I think the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration basically said, after two powerful solar flares, billions of times stronger than a hydrogen bomb, erupted from the sun Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Experts say these flares, however, are probably not the reason why cellular service fizzled. Here's what we know about it. So the two big solar flares did occur. For those of you who don't know what solar flares are, it's basically this, as you can see. First one peaked on Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST. Second peaked at Thursday at 1:32 a.m. EST. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured an image of the event. It's the intense burst of radiation associated with sunspots that releases magnetic energy out into space, according to NASA. These giant explosions from the sun send energy, light, and particles through the solar system. Flares can last several minutes to several hours. Sometimes this burst of energy can cause geomagnetic storms on Earth. A geomagnetic storm is a major disturbance of Earth's magnetosphere, according to the NOAA. It's what happens if the exchange of energy from a solar flare reaches the space surrounding Earth through solar wind. What happens to Earth during a geomagnetic storm? When these storms heat Earth's upper atmosphere, they can cause beautiful auroras. That's why the northern lights, the aurora borealis, is visible to stargazers in some parts of the U.S. after a moderate geomagnetic storm. Scientists say particles from the solar flare get caught within the Earth's magnetosphere, causing the glowing red and green colors we see in the night sky. Are they dangerous? No, not directly, but the storms can disrupt navigation systems, radio waves, and power grids. It's like a big-ass EMP. And they do get, apparently, I did not know this, they get storm ratings like hurricanes. Solar flares are classified by their strength. The smallest are considered A and B class, according to NASA, followed by C, M, and X class, which are the largest. Each of the solar flares is also graded on a number scale 1 to 9 to determine the exact impact. One of the most powerful ones on record happened in 2003, which overloaded sensors measuring it. Scientists later estimated the flare to be about X45. Also, the solar flares can be 10 times the size of Earth. Those explosions. It's fucking awesome. In 1859, a geomagnetic storm was so strong it caused fires in telegraph wires. It created a coronal mass ejection from the sun colliding with the Earth's magnetosphere. It was associated with a very bright solar flare in 1859. It was observed and recorded independently by British astronomers. A geomagnetic storm of this magnitude occurring today would cause widespread electrical disruptions, blackouts, and damage due to extended outages of the electrical power grid. Yes, to be clear, awesome in the traditional sense of it causes awe and not that it would be cool or fun. Yes, bring back the proper usage of the word awesome. Awesome means mighty. It doesn't immediately mean good in the OG use of the word. Anyway. Shock and awe. Unlikely, by the way, it says the experts on whether the solar flares caused the AT&T and Verizon outage. According to the NOAA, they said no apparent CMEs resulting from these events have been observed as of the time of this writing, but cannot be ruled out. Hours later, the agency weighed in on social media saying that AT&T and Verizon outage was unlikely related to the flares. I do feel like the way that the impact occurred, it's just so odd that it would only disrupt like certain carriers and not other forms of, like, not other things. You know what I mean? While solar flares can affect communication systems, radar, and the global positioning system based on the intensity of the eruption and associated phenomena, it is highly unlikely that these flares contributed to the widely reported cellular network outages. It's like aliens. They only affect America? Yes. Exactly. NOAA said, don't blame that shit on us. LMFAO. Yeah. So that's it. That's the solar flare / is this on live? I'm on mobile. What the fuck?